and welcome to coverage of Grand Prix Toronto. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth. I've got Jacob Van Lunen right by my side here, and we are ready to get down to the feature match for round number 12. This is day 2 action here. We're playing standard. We've got Reed Duke of the United States. He's up against Lucas Siao from Canada.
Lucas is a tremendously strong player that a lot of you may not have heard of. Reed, obviously, everyone knows who he is. But Lucas has actually beaten me in the finals of 2 different PTQs.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, not for you.
But. Well, I mean, he played very well both times. Deserved it.
Reed Duke gets the value from Silumgar scoring there, by the way, in the early stages, countering a Fleece Main line without having to reveal a dragon, just the, we call it the force spike side of that card. You know, he tried to make Lucas pay an extra mana. Lucas didn't have it, and it got countered. Now Lucas is going to go for another Fleece Main Lion, and this one is also going to get, wow, Silumgar scoring ×2 for full value. There are no dragons needed for Reed Duke here. Now Reed's on an interesting deck. He's playing blue-white control, straight up. And there's Divination, a card that you'll see from those type of cards. I actually had a chance to watch Reed play his last match. He wasn't in the feature match here. I was on my break, and I was just over there watching people play. And I watched Reed play a very, very close one against a mid-range Abzan deck. Probably similar to what Lucas Siao is playing here, and it was close. Reed ended up pulling it out. Both of these players find themselves at 9-2, which is, you know, we had 1,600 plus players here. This is right on the borderline. These guys don't have a lot of wiggle room here.
Yeah, I think both of them really need to win the remainder of their matches if they want to find themselves in the elimination rounds at the end of the day. Lucas, we were just watching a deck tech with Daniel Fournier about Abzan midrange, and he actually worked with Lucas. So that deck tech that you guys just watched, you're now watching that deck in action here on the right side of the screen.
Very nice. And by the way, Last Breath hitting perhaps its ideal target, Courser of Kruphix here, to take Lucas Siao off of any advantage that he may be gaining here. And he's going to get one back, though, with the second copy of Courser of Kruphix there. An interesting little play that we saw there from Reed Duke here. He main phase killed the Courser with his Last Breath, and that's something that Reed actually wrote a whole article about. You know, he thinks that, you know, a lot of times the standard play is to ship the turn back to your opponent, and then during their draw step, then you kill the Courser, and that way you get to see what they're going to draw next. But Reed's feeling on it is that in most scenarios, you're actually giving your opponent more information that they can actually act on by using a fetch land, using a scry land at the right time to get rid of that card, and it actually benefits them more than it benefits you knowing what it is, because they can actually get rid of it if they want. So he's an advocate for a lot of times just killing the Courser on your main phase.
And I can definitely get behind that, especially when you're playing against an Abzan deck where they have a Courser of Kruphix in play, because then something like Abzan Charm suddenly becomes a powerful answer to something like Last Breath.
Sure. Last Breath, it can be an awkward card. It in the match that I watched Reed previous here, he struggled to find a target for it, eventually killing one of his own soldier tokens from an Elspeth, and that was about the best he could get out of a Last Breath, because his opponent was all Fleece Main lines. That kind of stuff. Bigger creatures. All right, looks like Lucas has passed the turn back, and he is just going to sit on this Courser of Kruphix for now. He's got a Den Protector looming on top of his library there as well, and a Perilous Vault is really disincentivizing Lucas to add anything else to the board here.
A Reed with 4 copies of Dragonlord Ojutai in his deck.
How about one right now?
I don't think it's that great right now, though. I mean, Lucas has Crux of Fate in hand.
To blow up all dragons?
Yeah.
Still pretty great.
Yeah, it's fine. You know, you pay 5 mana on your turn, he pays 5 mana on his turn.
All right, and there's a couple of cards drawn off of Abzan Charm there. Oh, there's a Siege Rhino. Is there going to be another one under it? No, not this time. Wow, Lucas Siao kind of going off here.
Yeah. Witnessing the power of Courser of Kruphix. You have to remember that Reed already used 2 of his Silumgar scorns, so now, I mean, he has 3 Dissolve.
Yeah, he's got Dissolve.
And 2 additional copies of Silumgar scorn. Ooh, that's a nice one here for Lucas.
Well, Lucas is really just powering out the threats now. Look at this. Elspeth Sun's Champion. He's got He's actually just going to use it to kill Dragon Lord Ojutai here.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's just going to force the issue on Reed, though, to use that Perilous Vault here, though, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's not bad for Lucas because he has so much more gas left in his hand that having an Elspeth on 1, now you really force the issue to Reed. Like Reed's going to have to use an end step Perilous Vault, and then even so, then that gives Lucas another turn where he's able to possibly generate advantage with his Corsair Prefix.
Another Den Protector on top of the library for Xiao. He's got a grip of cards in his hand here, including a Den Protector that he had drawn earlier. He's going to use Elspeth to make some tokens. And now attack with Corsair. Reed's just going to go ahead and take it. Lucas really trying to get Reed to just pop that Perilous Vault, but Reed's going to do it on end step here, as it stops Lucas from playing any other threats this turn.
Like Lucas had the choice of perhaps playing something like a Den Protector, where he could return another card, but if he'd rather have the Den Protector than any of the cards in his graveyard, which I think is the case, then it seems wise to just pass the turn there and let Reed activate the Perilous Vault.
Den Protector doing good work against Elspeth, which is one of Reed's finishers. And here's a Divination now for Reed Duke.
Lucas doing a pretty good job here, maneuvering his way around this control matchup.
That said, he's only got Reed down to 17 and he has no permanence on the battlefield, so these next few turns are going to be important for Lucas to reestablish his position as the aggressor here.
Absolutely.
See if Reed Duke can do anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, if Reed is able to find something like Dig Through Time, then Lucas finds himself in a pretty rough spot, but until Reed has the first Dig Through Time, it seems like Lucas is in a pretty good position. And even after a Dig Through Time, I think that Lucas definitely not in the worst spot. There's tons of cards left. He can continue applying pressure. He can really force the issue with a lot of different things. So here, I imagine we're going to see a Morphed Den Protector, yeah. And I mean, just not play another threat. There's no reason to, really. Especially when you have a card like Crux of Fate, where you don't have to wait for the dragon to attack before you can get it off the table.
Mm-hmm.
You might be able to force the issue of Perilous Vault with just a single morph. Lucas is extremely patient. He plays all decks as if they are control decks.
You can see he's doing exactly that by getting back the Abzan Charm and immediately playing it as well. Just grinding here, right? I mean, trying to go card for card with the control deck.
And this is
so far doing just that.
This is Reed's comfort zone, but this is also Lucas's comfort zone.
Yeah, this is weird. How did this game? This game started off with 2 Fleecemane lines from Xiao, and somehow he's going toe to toe on a card basis with the blue-white control deck. That doesn't seem right.
That hits Lucas, man.
That's just him.
Yeah, he's like out-carded me when I was playing blue-white control before. It's the same exact situation. Lucas, again, forcing the issue of the Perilous Vault here with Siege Rhino. I mean, I can't imagine that Reed's going to not Perilous Vault on the end step. But I guess it's possible.
That's a lot of extra damage to suffer.
So the vault does get activated there. Lucas gonna lose that Den Protector and the Siege Rhino, but all in all, Lucas only really, trading 1-for-1 with that Perilous Vault.
Yeah,
the Den Protector replaced itself, and
the Rhino trade for the vault. Yeah, and he is chipping away by doing that as well. Reed Duke down to 13 now, and he was down to 11 until that Radiant Fountain. So, a little bit of headway here for Xiao.
File Void's not the card you want to see.
That's not the one he wants. I see that he's got to read the bones in his hand.
Yeah, and that could let him put the File Void on bottom. Lucas has made multiple Facebook statuses where he has heralded Read the Bones as the best card in Standard.
That's a bold claim.
And I think it's more that Read the Bones is the best Lucas Xiao card in Standard.
Okay.
You know, that's how he's trying to play a game.
All right, he's going to settle for face down morph. And of course, through a crew fix before passing the turn back to Reed, who just does nothing. He clearly drawing a lot of lands here. You know, you mentioned it a minute ago, this is the turns, these last couple of turns where you expect him to fire off at dig through time. In this case, it's going to be end hostilities. As he is just straight blue-white, he gets access to that particular sweeper, and I think we're going to see a Den Protector get something back again. Here we go.
And this time he's got a choice between that Abzan Charm and Fleecemane Line. Abzan Charm, obviously a stronger card, but Fleecemane Line, the monstrous Fleecemane Line is a very real threat against a deck like Reed's.
It is, yeah. Reed can play Elspeth, Sun's Champion, to keep that thing at bay by chump blocking with tokens and try to finish up in the air with Ojutai. But monstrous Fleecemane Line is a major issue. Also, the Perilous Vault gets it done, but there's 2 gone already. So
Yeah, and that's all that Reed's playing.
There's
is
no
2
left.
Perilous Vaults, so Lucas has successfully maneuvered himself into a position where this line is a very real threat that Reed's going to need a counterspell for. Otherwise, he's just going to have to play a waiting game, and it doesn't really look like Reed has any instant speed removal that deals with the line before it's monstrous. So,
all right, there it is.
Read the Bones.
The Xiaoiest card. Going
Look
to
at
find
that.
2
It's
fresh cards.
Basically an opportunity, right?
Here we go. Same thing as dig through time.
Yep.
So I saw that he found a Thoughtseize in that pile there. He's going to get a look to see what Reed's up to.
Or he's at least going to try to.
I think he's going to. Dissolve, okay. So Reed's going to protect that information and get a free scry here by playing the Dissolve instead of just letting the Thoughtseize resolve.
And here we see Reed with, despite all of those divinations and Dragon Lords and whatnot, here he is with just 2 cards left in his hand.
Yeah,
when Lucas has
he needs a dig.
6. Yeah, he
He's
really
supposed
needs
to have
dig
dug
through time.
twice by now.
Yes, absolutely.
And if he finds one, I think he could turn the corner here, but now this Siege Rhino is going to start pressuring the life total of Reed Duke.
I don't know if he could turn the corner if he finds one, to be honest.
How about Elspeth? How do you feel about that?
I don't think it's close to good enough here.
Really?
Yeah.
That was pretty good. What's wrong with that?
I mean, Lucas definitely has some way to use a removal spell on it. Like, he's probably
You
got an
think he's got
Elspeth
a
of his
downfall?
own, or a downfall, maybe both.
But Elspeth, oh, it's Nissa. The world will be awoken soon and will crunch, taking down Elspeth. There's Nissa Worldwaker.
All right.
And Dragon Lord Ojutai is going to jump back to hand here. Oh, nice. Silumgar Scorn was the last card there.
Yeah. Some cool play there from Reed Duke.
Yeah, so we saw Haven of the Spirit Dragon get activated, bringing back Ojutai to hand. Then Silumgar Scorn gets cast, revealing Ojutai and countering Nissa Worldwaker here. So a good sequence there for Reed Duke. The question is, what's the follow-up here for Lucas? Because he still needs to deal with Elspeth, and now he's going to have to deal with Ojutai as well. How about a pair of Fleecemanes? That's not good enough.
No, it's not good enough at all.
All right, well, Elspeth won, JVL 0. She's mad at you.
I mean, I still think Lucas is handily in the driver's seat of this game.
You're crazy.
He has so many cards in his hand.
You only need one when it's Elspeth Sun's Champion, my friend. How about we get rid of the Fleecemane lines?
Well, the
in
end
meantime?
hostilities off the top, obviously, changes the map a little bit.
I don't know. I liked Reed Duke's position before that, and I really like it now. I don't think those Fleecemanes were doing anything, though. once you start connecting with Dragon Lord Ojutai, things can really spiral out of control. And Reed Duke is due to find a dig through time here. My goodness.
Well, the Fleecemane lines were really good because, I mean, you have we know he drew a Bile-Blight earlier, so he was expecting to just get the Elspeth for free and use the dead Bile-Blight anyway.
All right, here
now he's
is-
forced to use Downfall.
Here's Hero's Downfall to take down Elspeth. And there's Crux of Fate to kill Ojutai. So a big swing here back in Lucas Xiao's favor,
Yeah.
leaving Reed just with the 3/1/1 soldier tokens here.
Yeah, against Lucas having Elspeth in hand plus whatever else.
And Reed continues to look through his deck here to try to find a dig through time and just cannot find one. He put that card on the bottom. And now Lucas gets to drop the hammer here with Elspeth.
Yep. He's
Well-
just going to draw some cards.
But he's still Lucas Xiao, so he's going to draw some cards here.
Yeah.
And now play Elspeth.
Presumably because he didn't have any cards left in his hand that drew some more cards.
And here's the Scryland to finish off the job here for Lucas. And let's see if Reed can find some action here. He's got plenty of lands, enough of those.
Looks like it's now Elspeth 0, JVL 1, is it not?
I think it's Elspeth and JVL. You seem to have teamed up.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's right. So Lucas looks to be in the driver's seat now, making tokens, not doing much else, but he doesn't need to. And Reed has got to find something here. Looks like he might have found another copy of Elspeth here. Yeah, he did, 6 mana, so blow for blow here.
But Lucas does have that Bile-Blight, so Lucas can just make more 3/3s in the following turn and not attack. And then the next turn he can just kill the Elspeth by attacking with all of his 1/1s. Because remember that Reed's playing off the top, so. Oh, he's gonna just attack. That attack actually surprises me.
Okay, a good old-fashioned Elspeth fight here, but we see that
Oh,
one of
his
them is
Bile-Blight
about
kills-
to ultimate. It kills his
Yeah,
own.
it kills his own. That was my, yeah, I'm sorry.
Just a reminder before we start round two, please do not, at any point today, offer any opponent.
He's not going to ultimate here. He's going to tick up one more. He knows he's in the driver's seat and pass it back. And Reed Duke just about out of options here as he finds another land and passes the turn back to Lucas. Now this is not lethal. Reed Duke's at 13 still.
Not bad though.
It's not bad though.
Looks like Lucas is trying to glut a land here, following all of those card draw spells.
All right, he's going to get an emblem from Elspeth Sun's Champion. He's going to give all of his creatures +2/+2 and flying, so he can just rumble over here, and he's actually going to use it to take down Elspeth,
Yeah, and
which
now,
happens.
now he's, not that worried about Bile-Blight killing his own guys because, that saves his Elspeth.
And he's just going to start spewing out 3/3s. Really only needs to activate Elspeth one more time after that.
And I mean, Reed is going to have some sort of counter magic for this Bile-Blight. Or Lucas may just feel that, okay, that's fine. I have 9 points of power on the table. Like, if you're going to want to deal
Ooh.
with that, you're going to have to rather yourself.
Ooh,
Okay. And that could change things.
that could get interesting. The dig through time has finally showed up for Reed Duke here. And he gets to try to find some answers to these 3/3/5s. Now again, remember, Lucas attacked Elspeth last turn, so Reed's still at 13 here. Now the interesting part, of course, though, is that the emblem's just going to stick around.
Yeah.
And any other creatures that Lucas Xiao finds are going to be the recipient of +2/+2 and flying as well, which flying being very important there.
Yeah, I mean, Siege Rhino as a 6/7 flying trample is...
Do we have an emblem to put on the battlefield? I mean, you don't get to see these every day. I kind of want to
I like the Elspeth emblem
show
also.
off the emblem, yeah. This has been a heck of a game one, by the way.
Yeah.
Remember, we get at least another game of this match. This is going to be great. See how the sideboard goes. So, Reed resolved dig through time. Hasn't done anything yet. There's 9. That's going to happen, it looks like, dropping Reed down to 4. There it is. Oh no, another Elspeth. Lucas Siao just
Reed
wrecking
probably
here.
has something for that one though.
It looks like
he
he's
just
got-
did just cast a dig after all.
Yeah, main deck negate ended up being what it was, but that's not going to do it. And Reed Duke falls to Lucas Siao in the first game. So Lucas looking to stay alive for top 8 here at the GP, and he's got to try to take it away from Reed.
Lucas, his most recent top 8 finish was at Grand Prix Ottawa, not too long ago. That was that this year or the last month of last year?
Last year.
Okay.
He won a GP.
He
Was
has
it Atlantic
won.
City? He won a modern GP with we called it Rug. I guess we'd call it Teamer now, but back in the time it was called Rug Delver.
Yeah, Atlantic City, the last Atlantic City was John Stern, I believe.
Yeah, you're right.
Another Canadian.
Yeah.
Playing a hexproof deck.
Yeah, this was a couple years ago now. It was a while back.
Yeah, Lucas knows what's going on. Smart guy, UPenn graduate. So
And it looks like our secondary table has already finished. And so we've moved, I see Mike Sigrist up there. I think he's playing Chris Fennell. But we had in the feature match area,
Gabby.
we had Gabby Sparks playing against Max McVetti. I don't know who won that one. We'll find out from the guys down in our spotter down there.
I believe that was an Abzan aggro versus mono red matchup.
Oh, so no
Gabby
wonder it
was
went so
playing
quickly.
Abzan, Yes.
Yeah.
Gabby already won.
So Gabby already won her match, just as an update there. So she improves. She's still X&2, so she's 10-2 now, and putting up a really nice run. She came into day 2 at with 2 losses as well, so she hasn't lost yet today.
She won an 8-man already.
Indeed. Well, an 8-person.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
So we bumped up Chris Fennell and Mike Sigrist over there in that second match, while we've got Reed Duke and Lucas Siao doing the sideboard thing here. Let's take a look at real quick what these two gentlemen are up to, and it looks like Esper Dragons for Fennell versus Mike Sigrist. Kind of signature Abzan aggro deck. He'll play other decks, but this is the one he top of the Pro Tour with here.
This deck has been very good to Mike. What do you take here?
I don't know what Mike
just-
has.
You don't know
but,
what's in
yeah.
the hand, but and in general, I think
Dig's the most
Yeah.
rotely powerful spell.
people are used to taking the card that interacts best in the early stages of the game, but a lot of the time when you're this Thoughtseize Duress deck, Dig Through Time kind of gets turboed into, and once they start chaining Dig Through Times, the game just ends. So taking that first Dig Through Time is a pretty powerful thing to do.
For sure.
We see Mike goes ahead and takes the Dig Through Time. Looks like he also has Anafenza, which matches up very well against that pair of Vile Blights in Chris's hand.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Anafenza doing good work here this weekend.
It dodges Vile Blight, dodges Ultimate Price, dodges Lightning Strike. The only cards that actually deal with it all cost 3 or more mana. So,
Well, Valorous Stance, right?
oh, that's true. Valor Stance has, kind of waned in popularity.
Yeah, it's
We're
not a
seeing
super
Valor
popular
Stance
card.
in
It's
these
around,
Abzan
but
aggro decks,
yeah,
and-
no. But yeah, no, it's just a tough card to kill, and even sometimes the side benefit of not having your opponent's creatures go to the yard comes up. It actually does. It's not that often, but it does. We're talking about Deathmas Raptors and stuff like that. It matters. It really matters.
Yeah, when you exile a Deathmas Raptor, it feels real good.
Yeah. Especially when you're an Abzan aggro deck that really has to slog through a bunch of creatures ultimately. All right, looks like we're ready to go back to our main match here. Reed Duke. He's now on the play. He's going to resolve and anticipate in response to a Thoughtseize, it looks like.
Interesting.
And, ooh, there's a Narset Transcendent up there.
Yeah, alongside a Radiant Purge with Disdainful Stroke and Dissolve and End Hostilities.
Only one more land currently for Reed, and it's Tranquil Cove, so that's not going to dig it closer to other lands.
And the one of his lands
awkward.
currently produces colorless mana too, so that means that Reed next turn is going to have a dead turn unless he top decks something like Negate, and even that's not thrilling.
No, not against Siao, who's more likely to play a card like a Fleece Mainline or something along those lines. Dissolve is what Xiao took, and that goes back to our conversation earlier. Took the thing that Reed can do the most relevant now.
Yeah.
All right, so the shields are probably down here for Xiao, or excuse me, for Reed, so Xiao can get in with some type of threat, and yeah, he's found a good one with Corsair Crewfix.
Yeah, Corsair Crewfix, just so good.
Yeah.
I mean, it obviously became quite a bit worse with Dromoka's command entering the format, but it's still, you know, probably punch for punch, like the strongest mean power level card we currently have in Standard.
So, Narset Transcendent, what do you make of this card, Jake?
Well, flips up a Silumgar Scorn, it's pretty good.
That's pretty nice. What do you think about it in general, though?
I mean, it's often difficult to set it up, but just putting it out there, I mean, look at how much loyalty that thing has. 7? We haven't really seen that much of it. It underperformed in initial testing, but I think the format has become a lot less aggressive since then. The most aggressive decks are going super small, so obviously it's, you know, not great there where it doesn't really affect the board. But as other people are slowing down more and more, Narset is really proving itself to be, you know, much better than it might have been previously. Shaheen Sarani talked to me a bit about it yesterday. He's a big fan.
He is. He played it at the first weekend it was available and had some pretty big words. I think he's maybe backed off a touch on those, but he's definitely a fan.
Looks like Reed was able to top deck an untapped White Source, which there aren't many of it in his deck. It turns out there are actually exactly 6 of them that he could have drawn, but he drew one, and that's going to allow him to cast End Hostilities here with Narset Transcendent.
Wow, huge.
And that is huge. Ooh.
Radiant Purge is going to take down, that's right, exile the Siege Rhino here.
Yeah, and that's quite nice.
Team Shrelford Gauthier, please report to your
And here's the Thoughtseize from Xiao. This could really screw up Reed Duke's plans here, as he has to now show, oh, I do have the End Hostilities still.
So 2 counter spells and an End Hostilities here.
Players in Masters number 11.
Stable Stroke, a nice pickup there for Lucas, who has cards like Nissa Worldwaker in his hand. You know, he's going to have to wait till he gets the 6 mana to cast it, but you know, here he's going to play a tap land, and then he's going to get to draw some extra cards with Abzan Charm. Or he could even attempt to do so during... and there's the 6 land he needs to do that, so next turn, I mean, he may...
And you're saying
Beat
6 so that he can
Silumgar
play around Silumgar Scorn, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you should say that.
Yes.
That's why I'm here. All right, land go here for Reed Duke.
Now, will Lucas go value hunting and you know, not cast this Abzan Charm, knowing that it could just be Silumgar Scorned?
I mean, in the dark,
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it seems pretty crazy.
but Lucas loves his value.
He does.
Let's see what he's got. Here it is,
So-
Abzan Charm.
So Reed's probably, you know, going to use the opportunity to turn on the Silumgar Scorn, but he might not. He might think that this is bait, and he sees the untapped land on the top of Lucas' library, and he might think to himself, well, if I counter that, the next turn Lucas could just resolve an Elspeth, and then I lose.
Right?
So maybe I just need to, you know, let that resolve right now, and then I can counter an Elspeth in the following turn with the Silumgar Scorn. What he doesn't know about is Nissa Worldwaker.
This is interesting stuff. This is a really interesting test that Lucas has put Reed Duke. You remember, Lucas knows about the Silumgar Scorn. So this is information that both players have. And Reed says, you know what, I'm going to take you up on your offer.
Ooh, and this is kind of interesting now for Lucas, because Lucas, you know, okay, so he's going to go ahead and
Well, he's doing it a little out of order.
yeah.
But there we go. He's going to play Nissa Worldwaker. He's going to activate a Plains, and he is going to take down Narset Transcended. And Narset really didn't get a whole lot of work done that game.
No, and I mean, it
Kinda hung
it
around, drew
sat
an
on the
extra
table
card.
for a long time
Yeah.
and didn't really do that much. I mean, it has so much loyalty, but you know, sometimes it's just like a cantrip plus gain 10 life, which is essentially what it was there.
Yeah, it was gain 6 in this case. Maybe a little more.
Oh, way more. Because I mean, you got attacked all those times. Even just on this turn, red at 6 damage. So I mean, in a lot of ways, it did draw him a card and gain him 10. Something.
Not in love.
Not in love either.
It's a great opportunity to grab a bite to eat or snack.
Looks like Reed found end hostilities. Or he had that already, I'm sorry. Not sure if he wants to go ahead and fire that off here. He's taking out 2 guys. A Resolve Nissa Worldwaker seems really difficult for Reed's deck. Perilous Vault seems like his best answer.
Yeah, and even then it's not a great answer because it doesn't hit the lands.
Yeah.
Taylor, please report to Gathering Place.
But he needs to get that Planeswalker on the table somehow.
He sure does.
Gathering Place.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. Cards like Banishing Light, you know, those type of effects are just gone from Standard. It's so hostile. I mean, even in Reed's own deck, you know, he's got Perilous Vaults that kill it. You've got cards like Ugin floating around, Dromoka's Command. It's just, it's a nightmare.
If you get a Banishing Light hit by Dromoka's Command.
Yeah, it's just a
Not a
complete,
happy
you just can't
time.
play any of these type of cards right now. All right, End Hostilities is going to take down 2 creatures, but leave, and this is critical, it's leaving Lucas Xiao with Nissa Worldwaker. And this could absolutely be Lucas's avenue to winning this match, is just activating Nissa a few times and not having Reed have the right answers, which they're hard to come by. Just kill him.
Lucas has an interesting decision here. He has Den Protector in hand, and if he, you know, uses the Den Protector, I think you just cast the Den Protector face down and make one of your guys a 4/4 and don't attack with it.
Explain.
I'd rather. So, the major issue is that if you attack with a 4/4 here, then you can't also flip up your Den Protector, and then you're not getting maximum value out of it. And I think Lucas would much rather have a regrowth effect than he would gain 4 life.
All right, well, looks like
Lucas agrees.
well, he's just attacking.
No, he didn't attack.
Oh,
turned it
okay. He
into a
just hasn't
4/4.
played a morph. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
cool. So he's got Temple of Malady down there, so he does have access to green, so he can turn that Den Protector up. Now, what do you think he gets back here? Looks like his options are Thoughtseize, Courser, and Fleece Mane.
I believe he has an Absent Charm in there also.
Oh, you're right. Absent Charm. Not
It
Fleece
depends. Does he have any other cards in his hand?
Unclear.
Unclear.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't hold them on screen, so I think he's out. But
Yeah, I also think he's out. If he's out, probably Absent Charm.
just reload. All right. Now here's a big haymaker for Reed Duke, though.
Well,
He's
now
got
it's
an
definitely
Elspeth.
Absent Charm because now he can flip with the Den Protector, and then the Absent Charm makes the Den Protector big enough to just one-shot the Elspeth, and it can't be blocked by the Elspeth tokens.
That's right.
So,
Yeah, this is an easy one as
Yeah.
Reed decided just to make the tokens here. And Elspeth is just going to be a bump in the road here for Xiao.
yeah, I mean, he's just going to pump that Den Protector with Absent Charm, then attack Reed with both 4/4s and Absent Charm the Den Protector to have the Den Protector kill the Elspeth. And suddenly Reed has, you know, a 1/1 in play, maybe 3, and he's facing down a pair of 4/4s and a 5/4, which is essentially unblockable. Yeah, so not going to use that Absent Charm right away. Looking to, ooh, interesting. Yeah, not attacking the.
Well, you see why
Oh, yeah.
he has Hero's Downfall. So he doesn't need to send his creatures in Elspeth's direction. Instead, he's going to send them right at Reed Duke's head. And Hero's Downfall, Elspeth post-combat here. Reed finds Anticipate, and this is important. He needs to find some action, and quickly. He is facing down a huge lethal board here.
And hostility is very important here. And even then, you know, you're taking another 4 next turn from this Nissa.
World Waker's looks like takes the damage here. Maybe not.
He attacked that World Waker, and then interesting stuff going on here.
All right, so animate yet another land. Bash with all of them. Reed can block. That's 4, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's still lethal, and that's going to do it. Lucas Xiao defeats Reed Duke in 2 games here and effectively knocking Reed out of contention for top 8 and keeping himself in. So a big match win there for Xiao.
And when I did the deck tech with Daniel Fournier, who Lucas had worked with before this event, he had spoken at length about how thrilled he was with Nissa in the control matchups. And there we really got to watch just how powerful that card was, because it didn't matter what Reed was going to top deck.
Right.
At the stage of the game. I mean, he was just going to be out anyway.
All right, well, let's jump back over to our other match where we've got Chris Fennell and Mike Sigrist duking it out. Looks like Fennell was able to close out that first game with his Esper Dragons list. And now he's looking to close out the match on Mike Sigrist. And doing a pretty good job, though. It looks like we've got a bit of a slugfest here, don't we?
Yeah, it looks like both players just,
They both can get each other to
Hitting
1
each other.
with an attack.
I believe Chris does have a self-inflicted wound in hand, though, which will make his next attack lethal. So,
Wow.
if he can back that up with some degree of counter magic, then we'll
I
probably
see
be in
it.
a pretty good spot.
I see a duress in hand for Sigrist.
So
It could get interesting. This is going to be a bit of a flurry down the stretch here between these two.
the dig is
Fighters.
pretty nice here for Chris, though. Let's see what he finds. Ooh, I see a downfall in there. All right, so yeah, I mean, I have to feel like Chris is, pretty well off here considering he's resolving that dig through time. Then again, I mean, his life total is in a little bit of a precarious spot. If Mike can combine that duress with something like Siege Rhino, then who knows? That'll buy him an extra turn and, put Chris in a spot where he's facing down lethal from his board. So.
See a Hero's Downfall there for Fennell.
I also see Silumgar the Drifting Death.
Ooh.
Yeah. Which, actually has quite a fun interaction with Dragon Lord Oshai. I don't know if you've done this yet, but a lot of the time you get to cast Silumgar the Drifting Death and you already have Dragon Lord Oshai in play. When you attack with it, you feel like Hordeling Outburst tokens.
Oh, I've done that.
Mystics.
I've done
Yeah.
plenty of that, buddy.
It's fun.
I'm a big fan of that. All right, there it is. Silumgar the Drifting Death hits the battlefield. And Sigrist now has to slog through. Silumgar, very difficult to do. Try to get Chris dead here. The duress is going to help clear the way. He's going to get a lot of information about what's going on in Fennell's hand too with a duress. Oof.
Yeah, double Crux.
Is that what it
Hero's
is? Double
Downfall.
Crux of Fate?
Yeah. And Crux of Fate at this point reads, destroy all creatures your opponent controls. 5 mana.
And not mine.
Chris' creatures happen to be significantly more impressive here. Imagine he's just going to block this Den Protector. Going to 4 isn't the end of the world. I mean, it's not like you're going to get double Rhino'd.
Den Protector is the peskier of the two. That Fleecemane Lion's not going anywhere, but
Oh, then again, the Den Protector just dies for free next turn, right? When you attack with both dragons?
it does indeed.
Yeah. I wasn't thinking about that. I wasn't thinking about getting 2 separate triggers off Silumgar the Drifting.
Oh, it works that
Yeah,
way
yeah.
for sure. You
Yeah.
get to just wipe the board here.
Definitely a fun interaction there. All right, so
Just put him in a weird spot though if he does that. He's got to do it, and that's going to do it. All right, so no removal spells or anything for Mike Sigrist. And Chris Fennell defeats him, in fact, 2 games to 0.
yeah,
So we actually had some some fairly fast matches down there in the feature match area. We saw Fennell 2-0 against Sigris. We never even got to see Gabby Sparts play 2-0. Video, yeah. And
Players in standard win box 30.
we also saw Lucas Yao defeat Reed in 2 slow games, but 2-0 as well down there.
Yeah, it's always